Hello everyone. I have a very special intro for all of you today. Part of the reason these videos are late coming out is because I wanted to wait until I could tell you all this. But here is the news. The Reiki apprenticeship will be paid off probably tomorrow. The money has been accrued to get it paid off totally and completely. It's just transferring into my bank account where tomorrow I'll be able to write a check and that will be completed. Thank you so much for all of your support, every single person who donated and every single person who stayed subscribed and who viewed and put up with all of my updates and requests for help along the way. Thank you, all of you for your patience and your support and your kindness. It's wonderful. I know we were at 66% last time, so you guys are probably wondering how we jumped to the end so quickly. I always told myself that, if where the Reiki can pay for itself, then that is going to help. I didn't want to be relying totally on people's donations to pay for that. And so somebody bought a 40 pack of Reiki sessions from me. And so now that that is bought and paid for, I can take that money and pay the rest of the apprenticeship off. And so now all I have to do is complete the work to finish up the apprenticeship program. And hopefully by the beginning of fall at the latest, I will be a Reiki master. So thank you all for your support, for your tolerance, for your patience. You will never have to hear another update about how far along we are on this. And be on the lookout because next week I do want to have some kind of celebratory contest. And so I do have some things rolling around in my mind, some ideas about what I want to do for a contest to celebrate the apprenticeship being totally and completely paid for. So that will be next week's intro. And now let's get on with your videos. Yay! Hello there, Cancer. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast for the week of April 24th through the 30th. What we have coming up for you on Monday, Cancer, is we have the Death card in reverse. Now, the Death card in reverse, Cancers, is just telling me that there's some kind of change coming in for you that you're resisting. Typically, this is a change in core values. And so this is something, when I talk about core values, what I'm talking about is a value that we picked up when we were too young to know better. Those things that we learned just by watching our parents or our teachers interact with the world. Okay, so there's some kind of core value that is really ready to change. I think you've identified that maybe it's not as productive for you as it could be, and you're reaching out for, or maybe you've even found a core value that would be better for you in your life, that's more productive for you. The thing is, though, that when we change a core value, a lot of times, we've been operating with this value for decades, if not years. Only the younger just for years, but most of us have been operating with these core values for decades. And so when we go to change them, it's a little scary because, we're talking about the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen along the way as we integrate this new core value and get rid of the old core value into our lives. And so for a lot of people, that's why they would hold back on allowing this change to fully integrate. And so that's what I see you guys doing on Monday, is holding back on allowing this change to fully integrate. If you can embrace this change and move forward with it more fully in your life, what you're going to do is you're going to get out of that middle ground of not knowing what's going on or where you're going or which way is up, into that place of operating under the new way of seeing things, the new core value, and that's going to bring you into a happier, more productive place. I mean, you're changing this core value for a reason, and so whenever you get to where you're using that fully and utilizing it completely in your life, you're going to see some improvements in your life in a lot of different ways. So I would encourage you to just embrace this change and, bring it forward in your life without resisting. Okay, let's look at Tuesday, Cancers. Seven of Clubs showing up in reverse for you. Seven of Clubs in reverse does mean there's somebody in your life that you had set some kind of boundaries with, and now they are testing those boundaries to see if you were serious about them or not. They may even try to pretend that they didn't even hear you say whatever the boundaries are. Well, it's your choice as to how you want to handle this. Do you want to let them walk all over your boundaries, or do you want to enforce those boundaries for your own peace of mind and your own sanity? Okay, so that's Tuesday. Wednesday, Ten of Cups shows up in reverse. Ten of Cups in reverse just tells me that there was something that you were feeling like you could take to the next level. You were feeling really good about it. In many cases, this is a relationship. Sometimes this is a work project or a hobby, but it's something that you feel good about. And so when the Ten of Cups shows up, when it's right side up, it talks about, wow, this is really awesome. Let's take this to the next level. If it's a relationship, let's get a little bit more serious. If it's a project, let's see what else we can do to expand this. You know, that type of thing. But what we've got is a Ten of Cups in reverse. So where we thought we were going to be taking it to the next level, it's like now all of a sudden out of nowhere, we hit this speed bump that kind of sends us flying. And so now we're a little bit confused about, do we really want to take this forward? Are we really as happy with this as we thought we were? That type of thing. So to me, this Ten of Cups feels like there's a little confusion now about whether, whatever this is, about whether you really want to take this forward on Wednesday, Cancer. Something comes up that makes you kind of think twice about this. I'm not saying that you're going to totally change your mind, but you're definitely going to be looking at it a little bit harder than what you were before. All right, let's look at Thursday. Here you do have the Page of Cups showing up in reverse. Page of Cups in reverse is you passing along a message to someone else, letting them know how much you actually care for them. On Friday, we do have the Nine of Swords showing up in reverse. Nine of Swords in reverse is another good card. This is talking about that there was a situation in your life that was causing you a lot of stress. And now either that situation has been resolved whenever we come around to Friday, or you've done some kind of psychological or emotional or spiritual healing so that this situation just doesn't bother you and isn't a problem for you the way it was before. Okay? And then let's look at Saturday and Sunday. Wow, two more Swords cards Saturday and Sunday. By the way, not all Swords cards are bad. All right, just so you know. Some people seem to think all Swords cards are bad. That's just not true. King of Swords showing up in reverse on Saturday is somebody that you're interacting with. When you're interacting with the King of Swords in reverse, this is somebody who's normally very logical, you know, very level-headed, a pretty stable kind of guy, thinks things through. He takes action very quickly, but he seems to be able to think very quickly on his feet. So he's logical. He's a steady guy. You can pretty much rely on him. And it doesn't have to be a guy just because it's a king, but I generally do refer to the gender as they come up in the court cards. But court cards don't mean that it's actually that particular gender. Anyway, King of Swords in reverse normally is logical and level-headed, but when we see him in reverse, he's not logical and level-headed today. He's got some emotions that are rolling around and kind of rolling over him. And so when you've got a swords person that has emotions kind of rolling over them, that can be very uncomfortable for them. They're kind of used to not really factoring emotions in or paying so much attention to them. So when emotions have kind of taken the driver's seat for them, that's really uncomfortable. So I think that this person, number one, is really uncomfortable because of whatever emotions have taken the driver's seat. But he's also really uncomfortable on top of that just because emotions are in the driver's seat. So this person may not be the most fun person to be around when you see him on Saturday. On Sunday, Cancers, we do have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is all about conflict. It's about hollow victories. You know, it's about, well, you know, there's definitely going to be conflict. It may be that you win this conflict, but when you're sitting back later on, you're going to wonder, well, yeah, technically I would say I won, but what did I win? I'm not really any happier now than I was before. Maybe I'm even less happy. So, you want to avoid that conflict. Conflict is not something that is, beneficial for anybody in the picture. So if you see a conflict coming, see what you can do to sort of head it off. A gentle word turns away wrath, is what the Bible says. And I found a lot of what the Bible says to be very true. Anyway, Cancers, that is your week. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by, for hanging out, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I do appreciate all of your support. I hope to see some of you here this week for Reiki sessions, some of you here this week for readings, and the rest of you I'll see back on the next video. Peace out.